Good morning, everyone. It is 9 o'clock, and I will call the Board of Fire Commissioners meeting to order. And I would like to ask Commissioner Andriola to please lead us in the pledge.
Please join me in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you very much. Madam Clerk, can we please do the roll call?
Sure. Alexis Hill, Chair.
Here.
Vice Chair Jeannie Herman.
Here.
Michael Clark is absent. Mary Luz Garcia.
Here.
Claire Andriola.
Present.
Fire Chief Charles Moore.
Here.
Deputy District Attorney Wade Carner.
Here.
And I'm Kathy Smith, Chief Deputy Clerk. You have a quorum.
Thank you very much. We will now go into public comment. Chief, will you lead us into that?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Public comment. Comment heard under this item will be limited to 3 minutes per person and may pertain to matters both on and off the Board of Fire Commissioners agenda. The district will also hear public comment during individual action items with comment limited to 3 minutes per person. Comments are to be made to the Board of Fire Commissioners as a whole.
Thank you. Madam Clerk, do we have any public comment?
No one has signed in.
Okay. We will now go to item 4. Chief.
Item 4 is Commissioners, Fire Chiefs announcements, requests for information, topics for future agendas, and statements relating to items not on the agenda. No discussion among Commissioners will take place on this item.
Okay, thank you, Chief Moore. Do you have anything for us today?
I do. Thank you, Madam Chair. For the October meeting, we're asking the National Weather Service to come in and give us an outlook for the winter.
Wonderful.
Rub off their crystal ball and see what it looks like. And strategic plan, because we were short on time, we're going to move that to October. That could be about 30 minutes worth of presentation. So
Looking forward to that.
didn't quite fit here. And then I'm very pleased to announce that staff has worked hard on obtaining a grant in the amount of $500,000 for the purchase of a new brush truck, and we'll bring that to you in October.
Great. That's very exciting. Congratulations to the team. Looking to the board now to see if there's any announcements. I'm not seeing anyone signed in. Okay. We will now move to consent. Are there any items that folks would like to pull on the consent calendar? I'm not seeing any. Before we have our discussion, Madam Clerk, is there any public comment on consent?
There is not.
Okay. All right. With that, if there's no questions or clarifications, I'm looking for a motion.
So move.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia.
Second.
Oh, I heard the Vice Chair, sorry. Yes. Any questions on the motion for the consent items? Seeing none. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. Okay, that passes unanimously. Thank you. We will now go to item 6. Chief.
Item 6 is the International Association of Firefighters Local 2487 report.
Good morning. For the record, Patrick Walsh, President, Truckee Meadows Firefighters. Got a couple of things for you today. First off, I'd like to just tell you guys about one of our brothers, Derek Reed, who just returned home from Maui. He served as a representative from the Truckee Meadows Firefighters as the Pure Sport team to go over and help the Maui firefighters go through everything they're going through over the last week or so. So we're incredibly proud that one of our members was able to step up and help out during the, our brothers and sisters' time of need across the Pacific. Secondly, we'd like to bring up an issue in your last consent agenda, item 5E, you guys reclassified a firefighter paramedic position into an office position. While we don't disagree that the office is incredibly busy and they're doing fantastic work, and we're incredibly excited that one of our members has some upward mobility, we would also kind of like to spotlight the fact that while the office is increasing their workload, so is the suppression side of life. So when we take away positions from firefighters that are actually responding to the calls, it's harder to get those positions back. Over the last year, we've been running with 10 engine companies, whereas before we were running with 11. For the last couple of months, we've been having conversations with the administration about bringing back that 11th Engine Company and trying to redeploy those resources in the north, which has been identified as a key issue. And we have yet to come to any resolution on that, but we just want to bring that forward and make sure that, you guys understand that from our point of view, taking away positions from, frozen or not, it becomes incredibly difficult for us to fight for those positions back and get those back into the district coffer, or into our suppression side. So I'm happy to answer any questions or meet with any of you related to our issues, but I just wanted to make sure that we put it out on the public forum that while we're not upset that somebody got a promotion, we are a little bit taken back by the fact that we're reclassifying positions from the suppression side to the office side while both divisions are having an increased workload. So that's all.
Thank you for that feedback. I think that's very important to get on the record and something that we should discuss as a board, certainly. Looking to my board members to see if folks have any questions or comments. We really appreciate that and appreciate the ongoing dialogue that we're having with you and your team. And so I don't know, Chief, if this would be appropriate, but I'd love to hear from who was it, Reed? Derek Reed, who went to Maui, and just hearing that experience, perhaps maybe at your update, or
Sure.
if we agendize something, if he'd feel comfortable, because I'd like to hear.
Absolutely.
My constituents bring up Maui a lot as an example of something that could happen in Tahoe, and I don't know if that is the apples to apples, certainly, so it'd be helpful to hear about his experience.
Perfect. Yeah, we'll make that happen.
Okay, great. Thank you for all the work that you're doing. We'll
Thank
be
you.
in touch.
All right.
Okay, we are now moving to the fire chief report.
Thank you, Madam Chair. I'm going to go through these quickly in the interest of time. Report on wildfire fuels reduction projects and fall green waste schedule. I'd like to ask Fire Management Officer Greg Jackson to talk a little bit about helicopter operations that will be happening in the area. So, Greg, take it away.
Morning, Commissioners. Greg Jackson, for the record, FMO, Truckee, Meadows, NV Energy. We are commencing operations right now in Incline at Diamond Peak Ski Resort. There's quite a few areas that we could not do any mechanical removal of the trees and the brush units. So we are flying all that material right now into Diamond Peak on that particular cut unit. That will be done on Friday because they need the landing. They're putting new poles in the same area that we're splitting with that. We will then move over down into the Truckee Meadows district on Monday in the Galena, or actually the Atoma, Mount Rose area. So our flight patterns in the Washoe County area will not displace any residents. We're flying over the back portions. If you see Unit 1 at the top of the map there, we're picking stems and brush off of Unit 1, 2, and a portion of 3. And you see the bridge area is going to be our landing zone for those logs. We're going to move those logs into the Atoma area. If you're familiar with that, they just tore down the building across the street from Mount Rose. There used to be a big, large building there. We're using that as the log landing, and we're going to truck those logs off the hill. So we have another section in Washoe County I want to just make you aware of. The last of the flight plan will be off of Toll Road in the Bain Springs area. And it's a split project between Truckee Meadows Fire District and Story County. That particular one's not on the map. That will happen at the last portion, but there's a section where Story County's already brought it down on that transmission line. It's just too steep to do it with mechanically with the heavy equipment. So that'll be hand cut and flown off there. So a couple big projects going to be happening in Washoe, Story, Incline, and then in Douglas, Tahoe Douglas also. So I don't want to take up too much time, but that's a quick synopsis of the helicopter operations. And if we don't have any delays, which I think we are on Monday, possibly, we're supposed to start Monday in Washoe County's district, but it might be lightning, and so we might have a few delays. But other than that, those operations will commence until late October.
That's great. Are we going to do some social just to let folks know that we're doing this
That's
work?
correct. The PIO team with Adam and
great.
NV Energy, and they are putting all that out. There are a couple trail closures, so there are some effect to some people down in the Galena Visitor Center. A lot of people like to drop their car off there and one at the Atoma and ride their bikes through there. We've been posting that wherever we can. We have signboards up and trying to get the information out that a couple of those trails will be closed while we're flying and moving those logs out.
Thank you. And Madam Clerk, will you please note Commissioner Clark is here? And any commissioner questions? I do have to publicly tell you, I was speaking to some representatives of NV Energy and to you and the chief and your team. They say that we're the best agency to work with in the state.
Thank you very much.
And so I think you should be very proud of the work that you and your team are doing. And I really appreciate how great you're making Washoe County and the rest of the state look. So thank you. I know it's hard work.
Yeah, thank you. I'll pass it on. Appreciate it. And I can brief anybody else if you're looking for flight directions and things like that. I can meet with you afterwards.
Thank you. Any other comments? Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Chief?
Continuing on, Madam Chair, the strategic plan update, I mentioned that's coming in October. I want to spend a little time on capital projects, and I know that folks in Washoe Valley are very anxious about seeing that station. So the Apple Fire Station and Washoe Valley are happening concurrently. So the plans are being developed for construction documents for Apple, which is synonymous for Washoe Valley, so they're progressing at the same time. In talking to our CMAR contractor and the architect, we believe that we'll start the civil work on Washoe Valley and Apple probably July of next year.
Okay.
And start digging the foundation then soon after that, and we should see the project come out of the ground then in late summer of 2024. With the caveat is that we have to find some financing, which later down the agenda you'll see that. But we also have the option for Washoe Valley to get a low-interest loan from the USDA, United States Department of Agriculture, for a term of approximately 40 years at a very low rate of interest, which makes the debt service payment then very attractive for us. So if we don't go with a state investment bank, we would go with USDA, or we haven't really made that decision yet, but nevertheless, we're working hard on the financing component. The architects are working hard on the plans, and the CMAR contractor is working hard on the construction estimates. So things are progressing very, very quickly, as fast as they can, actually. So, we have staked out the site for the Apple Station. Very beautiful spot, perfect for us to be able to serve the I-80 corridor from the Patrick exit all the way down to Wadsworth.
Wow.
And we're very excited to have Apple as a partner on that and to see that station come out of the ground as well. And let's see, green waste, everybody's favorite event, is coming with 9 calendar days for green waste in the fall. Mr. Mayberry has already started to message that. And we hope to see our citizens create their defensible space. We'll certainly help them with the disposal of that. And just want to mention briefly, we're very proud that the International Association of Fire Chiefs contacted this district to feature us in a video that played at the Fire Rescue International Conference in Kansas City last month, along with 14 other fire departments. And it was very, very awesome to see our department featured nationally and with other big departments like San Francisco and some major metropolitan districts. But they did mention, they did research on us and saw that we had a lot to offer in the way of fuels reduction, and that was a key component of their educational seminars is fuel reduction. So they looked at what this district is doing with respect to fuels reduction and wanted to feature that. So our partnership with NV Energy is wonderful, and when we're not doing fuels projects for NV Energy, we're using those resources at our expense, at the taxpayers' expense, to do private fuels reduction projects. So they're always busy. The fuels crews are always doing something almost every single day. And we're making a big difference in that. So I'm very proud that they chose us to do the video. In the interest of time, I'm not going to play it here, but perhaps we'll bring that back in October and so the public can see it. But it is posted on our website.
I saw that.
So people can view it there.
Congratulations. That's great to you and your team.
So that is the end of my report, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief. Any commissioner questions or comments for the chief? Commissioner Garcia.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Chief, I'm looking at the green waste collection days. Is there a reason that Sun Valley is not represented, or the region of Sun Valley? And if not, it's fine. I just wanted to know what location you recommend that we tell folks to take advantage of.
Thank you for the question. I think Spanish Springs is the one that we kind of combine Spanish Springs and Sun Valley. We can certainly see what I can do to add an event in Sun Valley, and I'd be happy to see if we can add that.
Have we hosted some in the past in Sun Valley? I can't remember in the last year or so.
Greg, would you mind answering that? I don't believe we have, but.
Okay.
Greg Jackson again. We have not. We'll have to work with the county lands. It takes 3 or 4 acres of turn-in time to be able to drop off the green waste, chip it. So we'll have to work with the county to see if we can find a piece of land to make that work.
Okay, I'd be interested in seeing if we can make that a possibility, just to see the interest and engagement that we can get in Sun Valley.
I'll check with Mr. Solero and see if there's a parcel out there through the General Improvement District or through the county.
Thank you.
Okay.
Great point, Commissioner Garcia. Any other commissioners have questions or comments for the chief? I'm not seeing any. Okay, thank you. So we will now move into item 8, Chief.
Madam Chair,
Oh, yes, is
we
there?
do have a public
Public
comment.
comment, yes, thank you.
Thomas Daly?
Thank you, Commissioners. For the record, Thomas Daly from the Estates at Mount Rose. I ask my comments be entered into the record of today's meeting. On behalf of the Estates at Mount Rose Homeowners Association, we want to thank Chiefs Moore, Eisenhagen, and Jackson and their fuels crews for their work last month, clearing, along with our contractor, some 45 acres of brush in our community, significantly reducing the threat of wildfire. Small communities such as ours have been shut out from the grant program administered by the Nevada Division of Forestry. Fortunately, Truckee Meadows Fire stepped up to fill that void. This was a public-private sector partnership that works. We would encourage the district to expand such efforts to other small communities who cannot get an NDF grant to reduce their risk of wildfire. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other public comment, Madam Clerk?
No one else has signed in?
Okay, we will now move into item 8, Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 8 is a recommendation to authorize the fire chief to communicate Board of Fire Commissioner support for the NV Energy Natural Disaster Protection Plan to the Public Utilities Commission through correspondence and attendance at hearings, and refer the matter to the Board of County Commissioners for its consideration.
Thank you, Chief. We'd love some background on this.
This is very important that the PUC hear from local governments. The PUC did approve NV Energy for $343 million to prosecute its natural disaster protection plan. But they've run into a bit of a snag in that NV Energy has not been approved for the $15 million it has already expended. So NV Energy will appeal that, and we would like to be part of that appeal. And some of the issues are, I think, for the PUC staff, is that are all the costs being applied to fuels reduction, because they're firefighters, and I think their concern is are ratepayers in NV Energy being charged for any firefighting time or anything that's not related to the actual removal of fuels. So I know that my staff and financial staff and the fuel staff are very, very careful about allocating what is applicable to NV Energy's program and what is applicable to our suppression efforts, because we don't charge NV Energy for anything that we're doing off of NV Energy projects. But since there are a number of fire departments in Northern Nevada, they have concerns about that, and I believe that they want to hear more. So testimony from your fire chief, me, and my staff would be instrumental, I think, in helping resolve those questions with PUC staff.
Yes, that's great. Thank you for staying engaged on this issue, and thank you for also asking the board for some guidance. So I'm looking for the board, any questions for the chief or comments on this? So if you send a letter, will we see that as a board, or will you send it to us after you've sent it?
Yeah, absolutely. We'll copy that to the board. And the weight of the Board of County Commissioners behind that same issue, I think, would be helpful. So with your permission, if you pass this, then I'll certainly talk to Manager Brown about bringing this before the Board of County Commissioners.
Absolutely. Okay. I think that is a great idea. Any other comments from the board? Seeing none, I'm now looking for a motion on this item.
Madam Chair, I move to authorize communication to the PUC as outlined in the staff report.
Thank you, Commissioner Garcia. And Vice Chair Herman, second. Okay. Any questions on the motion? Madam Clerk, any public comment? Okay. All those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. And I think that passes unanimously. Thank you very much. And now I look to my vice chair. Do you have a block vote for us today?
Sorry, I didn't have my mic on.
You're fine.
Item 9, 10, 11, and 12.
Okay. Any questions on that block vote from the board? Okay, and is that in the form of a motion, Madam Vice Chair?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
I'll second.
Okay, thank you, Commissioner Andriola. And any public comment on those items?
There is none.
Okay, thank you, Madam Clerk. With a motion and a second for the block vote of 9, 10, 11, and 12, any questions on that motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. All right, and I think that passes unanimously, but we'll make sure. Okay, thank you very much. We will now go to item 13. Chief?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 13 is a recommendation to approve the purchase of 3 Type 1 structural fire engines through Siddons Martin for a cost of $1,011,694.66 each, for a total purchase price for the 3 engines of $3,035,084, in accordance with LRS 332.115.1, paragraph D, exemptions to requirements for competitive bidding. Deputy Chief Chris Kettering will make this presentation.
Great, welcome.
Good morning. For the record, Chris Kettering, Deputy Chief, Truckee Meadows Fire. Part of our apparatus replacement plan, our priority is to replace those 3 Type 1 structural engines. The build time is 36 months. The district will pay for those apparatus cash on delivery, and we're budgeting those over the next 3 years. The district utilized the HGAC contract for pricing for those apparatus. If you have any questions or on that, I can answer them for you.
What are we going to do with the old engines? What's the plan for
We'll send
that?
those to auction.
Okay, great. Any other questions from the board for Deputy Chief Kettering? Not seeing any. Any public comment, Madam Clerk?
There is none.
Okay. With that, then, I am looking for a motion.
So moved.
Okay, thank you. Vice Chair Herman, looking for a second. Thank you, Commissioner Andriola. Any questions on the motion? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, please say nay. And I think that passes. Yes, it does, unanimously. Great. We are now moving on to item 14. Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair, and with your permission, may we combine 14 and 15
Yes,
since they're
smart.
essentially the same.
Yes.
So I'll read each into the record.
Okay.
Item 14 is a recommendation to approve an application to the Nevada State Investment Bank for a grant, long-term loan, or a combination thereof to construct a new apparatus bay at the Hidden Valley Fire Station number 37, located at 3255 Hidden Valley Drive, in the amount of $4,500,000, and approve resolution TM 17-2023 supporting the application. Item 15, recommendation to approve an application to the Nevada State Investment Bank for a grant, long-term loan, or a combination thereof to construct a new fire station to serve the greater Washoe Valley area, located at 0 Pelican Drive in the amount of $11,500,000 and approve Resolution TM 18-2023 supporting the application. In your board packets, you see the applications. There's a whole lot more that needs to go with the application, but those documents are already in the public record. And to save a couple of trees, I did not want to copy them here. Those documents are the audits, the budget, any planning documents, the architecture thus far, which the board has already seen. So again, we will be asking for a grant and/or a loan, one or the other, or maybe there's a combination there. We have to meet with the State Investment Bank to discuss that. So it could be one, it could be the other, or some combination thereof. And so getting back again to the Washoe Valley Station, we also have the option of making an application to USDA for a low-interest loan for a term of 40 years, which is very, very attractive in terms of our ability to repay that. So, end of presentation.
Okay, thank you, Chief. Any questions for the Chief? I have to say, I am so excited. As you know, I've been pushing on us to try to participate in the infrastructure bank, and this is a big deal. So if you think it will make a difference to have the county commissioners also do a letter of support, you know, please speak to Manager Brown and we'll see what we can do. But thank you for doing this. I think that we are a perfect candidate for this funding, and I know not enough government entities are taking advantage of it. So I just really appreciate you and your team putting in the legwork to make it happen. Any other comments? Okay, I am looking for a motion.
Madam Chair, I move to approve item 14 and 15 as presented.
Thank you, Commissioner Andriola.
Second.
Thank you, Vice Chair Herman. Any questions on the motion for item 14 and 15 for approval? Seeing none, all those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any
Madam Chair?
opposed? Yes.
I don't think you asked for
Public comment,
on
thank
that.
you. Madam Clerk.
There was no public comment.
Thank you. I didn't see any signed in, but thank you for correcting me. All those in favor, please say aye. Aye. Any opposed, please say nay. And I think that passes unanimously. Okay, great. We are now moving to item 16. Chief.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Item 16 is Commissioners' Fire Chief's announcements, requests for information, topics for future agendas, and statements relating to items not on the agenda. No discussion among commissioners will take place on this item.
Any commissioners signed in? Vice Chair Herman.
Thank you, Madam Chair. At this time, being it's time this fall, and I'm thanking our firemen and our chief for protecting us from any major fires. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you. Mother Nature had a role to play in that as well.
And we're the best, obviously. Thank you, Vice Chair Herman. Any other commissioners?
Thank you.
I just was hoping, Chief, to President Walsh's request or comments, can we bring back as part of the chief report what we've been doing as far as staffing for line employees? It's when things come to the board, they're piecemeal, so it's hard to keep track of what we have been doing on our staffing plans and what kind of the future plans are, just so we are keeping a check and making sure that we've got enough folks doing that work. Thank you so much.
Sure, you bet.
All right. I'm not seeing any other commissioners, so at this point, we will go to item 17. Chief.
Item 17 is final public comment. Comment heard under this item will be limited to 3 minutes per person and may pertain to matters both on and off the Board of Fire Commissioners' agenda. District will also hear public comment during individual action items with comments limited to 3 minutes per person.
Thank you very much. Madam Clerk.
No one has signed in.
Okay. Well, with that, probably the shortest fire board meeting we've ever had. We are adjourned. Thank you, everyone.